Good afternoon, everybody. It's Lynn here, the Go Live Granny, and I am here in my beautiful garden, sitting in the shade of the lovely umbrella that I was bequeathed from Mum's house after she passed. I used to struggle to get shade in my garden, and it's a beautifully hot, sunny day today, and I've put the umbrella up in on the table. There's a table with a hole in it, and I've got the umbrella up, and it's shading me nicely. So I'm sitting here minding my business, and our local policeman came past, our local community officer. Now I've seen him twice in something like the last year, and each time he's come to give me a survey to fill in. And it set me thinking about what faith any of you lovely people have in the police. When I married my first husband, it was as a result of a burglary at my house. My house was burgled, and I ended up marrying the policeman in the Met who came to make inquiries about the burglary. And back then, I had total faith in the police. We're talking about 1972. I got married to my first husband. They didn't actually find the criminal. So, they didn't actually solve the crime, but I did get a husband out of it. And I did have faith in the police at the time. Oh, we got some screaming kids. Never mind. Um, I had I had faith in the police at that stage. Over the years, my faith in the police has dwindled to zero, absolute zero. Um, and there's various things that I'm not going to go into all the things, but things happen and the police don't respond. And what's the point of making getting it down if nothing's going to be done about it? Now, I have just been given a survey by the local community officer. So this is what my first husband used to call the blow up police. Not the real police, the community police officers. That was what he said about them. Anyway, this particular community officer, when he came round last year, he gave me a survey, and he wanted me to dob in some people from a block of flats that's across the way from me. I've hardly ever had any trouble on this estate from anybody, and I'm not the sort of person who's going to make a complaint against people just because a policeman wants me to. If there's an issue, I might raise a complaint. If there's no issue, there's no way that I'm going to give the police the satisfaction of saying, oh, yes, that's right. Now, there are some people who live near me who have a drug issue, but in my opinion, our society has failed them and has not helped to signpost them and get them back to where they need to be. All they do is, the policeman wanted me to make a complaint against them. I have never had an issue with them. They are people that I used to serve when I was doing the Hungry and Homeless project years ago at my church. And in recent years, when they knew I was living here, they actually said to me, "Why did you help us?" And I said, "I helped you because I cared about you." And I still care about them, and I wish that the society would actually do something to help them improve their lives, or work on it and try on it, but nothing. All I've ever had is that the policeman wanted me to make a complaint about them. Well, I didn't. What I did was talk to the other neighbours, and none of them had an issue, and all the surveys went in the bin, I believe. So, it was a waste of paper, an absolute waste of paper, and a waste of a paper exercise. Now, as I say, I haven't seen a policeman since then. Before that, during pandemic, and again recently, I've had issues that I've had to call the police for. So, um, uh, some of you will remember that during pandemic. Hi, Andrew. I'm wanting people's opinion on the police, um, and I've zero faith in the police at the moment. Anyway, so back in pandemic, when I was live streaming at 10 o'clock one evening, my broadcast was interrupted by a ring on the doorbell. So I go live at 10, not every evening now, but a lot of evenings. And I went live at 10 this particular evening, and my doorbell rang. So because I was broadcasting and because it was night, I didn't come down to the doorbell to answer the door. I looked out of my French windows, and there was, I don't know whether it was one of the eateries. I know that 5 eateries tried to deliver food to me that night, and I'm not sure whether it was the Ride Tandoori or which one it was. I think it was the Ride Tandoori was the first one that came. I'm not sure, but anyway, 5 eateries, and they came to my house. My number had my name and my number had been given to five eateries with an order for food that I didn't order, that I didn't pay for, so the food was not paid for, and they all turned up at my door in the middle of my broadcast to expect to get me to pay. Oh, it's jumpy, is it? Sorry, Andrew, I'm holding it. I haven't got my tripod out here, so I don't know if why it's jumpy. Maybe the signal's bad. Sorry. Anyway, on that night, as I was broadcasting, I asked one of my community who knew where I lived. Obviously, I didn't want to give out my name and address because somebody had already got it. Good afternoon, Jackie. So I didn't want to give out my name and address on that occasion, but somebody who knew where I lived, I said, could you please ring the police and get this, logged as an issue? So one of the community did that. I managed to send all the people away saying that, I haven't ordered this food. I haven't paid for this food. I have a dietary requirement, so I wouldn't have ordered this food because it's not food that I can eat. Anyway, 5 local businesses were inconvenienced. They prepared meals that, because somebody, and I know who it is, I know who it was, pretty damn sure I knew who it was. I didn't have out and out proof, but when I started making suggestions in my broadcasts that I knew who it was, it stopped. Caroline says she's warm. Hello, Caroline, Ailey, Jackie, Andrew, all in. So so I wasn't happy that obviously that people were pretending to be me, ringing up with orders. Anyway, also I wasn't happy because after the broadcast I didn't ring the police, I rang 101, which is obviously the way of talking, the reporting to the police. And I was not at all happy on that occasion because the girl said to me, why are you ringing us? I said, because there was an incident and it's been reported to you and I want to, do a follow-up report. So the 101 answering of the phone was absolute rubbish on that occasion. And it doesn't inspire confidence in the police at all. Then, as I say, last year, this our community police officer, who I've only seen twice in the last year, and each time he's come up only to give us a survey, not to see if everything's all right, not to talk to us as real people, but more important to fill in a piece of paper and waste a lot of paper. Well, no, it's an online survey, but he's given me a piece of paper, so I'm going to read you what it says. All right, and I'm not happy about it because it's wasting trees, it's wasting my time. I reported an incident recently. Why not come and talk to me about the incident I reported rather than try and I'm already offside, so they need to get me onside. So it says our reference and your reference, and there is no reference from them or me. It's one of those dear sir or madam things. We have been made aware of reports of antisocial behaviour in your area. As such, we are keen to learn more about this so we can form an effective working partnership with residents. Come and talk to us. Come up here. Speak to us. See what's going on. Don't stick a piece of paper in the door that we're probably all going to ignore. If you want to remain anonymous, which I don't, please use the independent UK charity Crime Stoppers number, and then there's a website there. Please could you complete the survey with the link below for us to gain a greater understanding of what issues you may be facing. And then there's a link to a form. And then it says if you have a smartphone, you can use your camera to scan the QR code, which will also take you to the survey. This should take you less than 2 minutes to complete. Kind regards. And then there's no personal thing on here. It just says Ryde Neighbourhood Policing Team. So, this is an absolute waste of paper. Total waste of paper. I bet you anything that most of the residents won't fill it in. I'm going to talk to them when I see them. Ailey, has people not got something better to do? No. So I said to him, well, there were people on the roof over there, and there was an incident recently, and I reported it because I did have a bit of grief from one of the neighbours. It was the neighbour whose child was on the roof, and I was not aggressive. I asked the children on the roof if they'd got permission to be up there. I didn't accuse them of anything. I just asked them. I wanted them to think whether it was a safe place to play. I've been a teacher for 30 years. 30 years I've looked after other people's children and watched out for danger. In the years since I've been a teacher, I was accused by the mother of one of the children that I should butt out. I'm nothing to do with it. I'm not a teacher anymore. She said, you used to be a teacher. You're not a teacher anymore. Butt out. And I thought afterwards, should I stop caring for children in the way that I'd cared for them 30 years through my career? No, I'm not going to. If I think a child could have a very nasty accident and I could do something to prevent it, I'm afraid I'm not going to change the person that I've been all these years to do it. So anyway, the woman's parenting style decided her child went indoor, but there were 2 children on the roof. One was hers and one was somebody else's. Her parenting style was to call them in and then send them back to go on the roof. Now, wouldn't it be good if police would come in that sort of incident and educate those children, not scream and shout at them, but educate them into the dangers that they face if they fall off that roof. It might seem like fun, but I'm not sure how safe that roof is. And also, if they lose their footing, they could come off over the edge. It's not going to be a very pleasant scenario. So after they came down and after she'd shouted and screamed at me like a fisherwoman, and I'm very great concern for the second child who wasn't hers that she'd sent back on the roof. I saw him across the way, and I sort of tried to befriend him and say, it's not a very safe place to play, and so perhaps it's not. Perhaps you could find somewhere safer. I tried to show him that I wasn't aggressive, that I wasn't wanting to spoil their fun. I was wanting to look out for their safety. So I'm not quite sure whether, Anyway, I haven't seen them on the roof again, so maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen them, and I'm out here a lot, and I'm at my French doors a lot, so I see what goes on here most of the time. Anyway, after that, I spent 40 minutes. Now, this week I listened to what is she? She's the police. Is she the Donna Jones? She's in charge of some of the police. I've forgotten what her role is. I think she's a PCC. Is it? I'm not quite sure. Police, I've forgotten what her role is, but when she came into post last year, she was tweeting about the police and how she wants to make it all good and everybody have faith in it. And I tweeted her and said, I have absolutely no faith in the police. Lots of things have happened over the last 15, 16 years, which I won't go into, but you just take my word for it. The police have absolutely been awful to the point where they've bullied as well. And so, that's why I don't have any faith. Anyway, when she came into post, she put that, and I tweeted her back and said, I don't have any faith in the police. Can we have some sort of conversation? And I believe it could be nearly a year. I can't remember when she came into post, but it's a jolly long time, and I have not heard anything from her since. Now, I know she's got a lot of people to see, but it's no good trying to say, oh, well, we're going to make everything better if you don't talk to the people who've got the issues, And so I watched the other day, she does every now and again, she does an hour taking questions online, and she did it this week, and I put a question in, and I got no answer, and so it doesn't bode well. I don't have a great respect for the police because of the way that they have behaved. And then for her, so anyway, so with this one, I'm not going to fill this survey in. I have got the email address of the police officer who sent it this time, which I didn't have before. So I will be making an email there, and I will be saying, what's the point in sending this survey to me? I dialed 101 the other day. I waited 40 minutes to get through. And on her broadcast the other day, Donna Jones said, oh, you only have to wait about 4 minutes to get through on 101. No, I didn't. I waited nearly 45 minutes to get through. On that occasion, I did have a very sympathetic person on 101, which is very rare from all I've dialed 101 quite a lot of times over the last 15 years, and I've never had, most of the time they just treat me as a nuisance. And don't forget, they are civilians, obviously answering the phone there. They're not police themselves. But I've had real issues. In one time, I had to make a complaint about the person who answered the phone to me on 101. That's not okay. So anyway, I am not going to fill in this survey, but I am going to send an email to Darren, the policeman, and say, what's the point? And I think I will also write to Donna Jones as well and say, what's the point if we have an issue and we send that issue to you? Why then are you sending surveys out saying, tell us about antisocial behaviour? I've already waited 45 minutes to put a report in to tell you about antisocial behaviour. So if you've had reports of antisocial behaviour, which is why this piece of paper's come out, then talk to the people who reported the antisocial behaviour. Doesn't that make sense? I think it's absolutely crazy. Let's see. People not going... no, they haven't. You wouldn't want to stand and watch the child fall off the roof. No, I certainly wouldn't. I wouldn't want to watch children fall off the roof. It would be horrific, to see a child fall off there. I would feel so bad if I stood here, watched children climb on the roof, didn't take any course of action that might persuade them to come off the roof, and then one of them fell and killed themselves by hitting them. There's concrete underneath some of that. And if they hit their head on the concrete, that's not going to be a pretty scene, is it? Ooh, beautiful butterflies flying around here. It's lovely. Don't know if you'll see them in the background, but anyway. So I just wondered what the rest of you would do. What would you, put in the comments what you would do if you had reported to 101 antisocial behaviour, and then you got a letter asking you to fill in a survey to report antisocial behaviour. You've already reported it. How many times do you have to report it before anything's ever done about it? I think it's horrendous. So that's what let's have a look. Hello, I think that's Elizabeth coming in. The screen is so bright, folks. I'm under the umbrella, but the screen is so bright I can't read the comments really. I can just about see that the comments are coming in, and so I think that was Elizabeth just coming in as well. So yes, so my Friday afternoon is just wanting to find out, how many of you actually have faith in the police force these days. Well, what I was told too, I didn't when I got through. No, I didn't call 101 until after the incident happened. The woman across the way was shouting and screaming at me like a fisherwoman, and I waited for all that incident to finish and for the children to get off the roof, and then I phoned 101, waited 45 minutes, and then put in my case. Now the girl who answered the phone, she actually was very sympathetic and understanding. This is making history because this is not what I'm used to when I dial 101. But what she did say to me was, that they wouldn't have come out for children playing on the roof. Even if I'd reported it that it was a danger, they wouldn't come and deal with it. And she also said, and this is very, very worrying, she said that if the police had happened to walk by here and the children were on the roof, they wouldn't necessarily tell them to get off. Don't the police have a duty of care anymore? Is it not okay? Is that not part of their job to actually, has that been taken away? Is it just an aggressive bullying organisation these days? Because that's what I'm seeing. So it's just horrendous that I mean I want to follow that up with Donna Jones, and so she's part of the she's not commissioned. I've forgotten what her title is. Somebody might be able to put it in there. I should have looked it up first. But when she came into post, she said, "Well, I want to make the place a lot nicer. I want you to have more trust in the police." Zero, zero improvement as far as I'm concerned, because nobody's bothered to come and speak to me. 101 did answer, but after 45 minutes. But and the girl was a pleasant girl this time. In the past, I've had rudery from 101, and I've had to as I say, I've had to make a complaint about the 101 staff sometimes, up the way they've answered the phone. But wouldn't it have been a nice afternoon if I could just sit here and just watch the world go by without any issues coming up? Just watching the people go backwards and forwards onto my estate. Sometimes we have the ice cream van comes along here. I've seen the mummies and daddies go and collect their children from school, and then I see them come back again, because this is a one-way. It's like a cul-de-sac where I live, and the school's at the bottom of the road. So the mummies. I'm right at the beginning of the estate, so I see all the mummies and daddies coming this way to go and collect their children, and then they come back, and often they wave to me if they see me sitting in the garden. Sometimes they don't see me, sometimes they do. But it's lovely, and generally it's a lovely, quiet estate. And I don't, as I say, the only issue I've had in a long time was from one of the residents across the way. And the same resident has shouted and told me I'm a teacher, but I need to butt out. She's done that twice in the last however long she's lived there. Maybe 6 months, 8 months, might be as far as I can't remember the first incident. But that's the only person that I've had trouble from. This estate has about 70 properties on it. And it's just, well, that's my opinion, but I don't know what the rest of you think about the police. So do fill out comments and let me know. Let's see if I can read this. Caroline's put something, but I can't. Let's see if I can read it, because it's the writing's tiny and the sun is on the screen. Wait a minute. Emailed your local MP about people letting their dogs poop outside our house and across on the grass. You got letters back, and then it's sorted. Oh, that's good, Caroline. Actually, yes, I had forgotten about that. A lot of people have dogs here, but most of them, sorry, let's go over here. Most of them are very, they scoop the poop up and no issues. One day I came out, and of course my garden is quite a long, it's a thin garden, but it's long that way. And somebody's dog had pooped, and it had pooped all the way along about half of my garden. So I don't have animals. I don't see why I should have to clear up after other people's animals, but I did clear it up, because if I hadn't have done, it would have walked all along outside my house, alongside it next door, and over there as well. But, I didn't report it. I just cleared it up on that occasion, Caroline. Nice to know that you had some, it's been sorted. So let's, oh, right, Alexander Stafford is your MP. That's interesting, right. I don't think our MP would be bothered at all about it. He's not very interested in what a lot of things go on the island. I'm afraid I'm one of those who thinks he's more interested in feathering his own nest and rising up in his career. However, he has said that he doesn't back Boris Johnson, so maybe that is, you know, a point in his favour with everything that's gone on. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that political debate. I'm going to perhaps go and get myself a nice drink in a minute. I'm going to have some elderflower and lemonade. That's lovely. And I might treat myself to a choc ice if I think I've got some left in my freezer. So I might just do that. So anyway, I just thought I'd come on here and see what you think of the police. So do let me know. You haven't put comments in, but you know, certainly let me know. Um, you know, because I think there's a lot of improvement to be made. And there's no point in cutting trees down and writing letters if nothing's going to be done about it. I'd be very surprised if anything actually gets done. So you know, if you've got, if they think we have if they've heard that we've got a trouble with antisocial behaviour, who did they hear from? If it wasn't anonymous and mine wasn't anonymous, then come and talk to the people who are putting in the complaints, because that's how you'll find out about it and maybe get a better understanding of it, rather than writing and wasting paper as they have done here. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you now. I'm going to go and cool down. It's getting, although I'm still under the umbrella, it's still very hot out here, and I might go inside and put a fan on and maybe watch another. I finished Anne with an E on Netflix. I was binge watching that, and I was surprised when it finished last night. I was disappointed. I thought there were more episodes to come. Anyway, that was a lovely series. I'm going to go and watch some more. Something else on the screen. I've got some lovely big. I've got fans. Thank you, fans. No, the electric fans that keep you cool in the summer. I've got several of those, and I think I might go in and have a little cool down inside. And then I'll come out when it's cooled down and water the garden. I'm running out of rainwater. We need some rain. It doesn't look like it's going to happen over the weekend. So I might, you know, have to actually water with tap water. Oh dear, it breaks my Weasley heart. Today's the day when they were telling people about the shortlisting for White in Bloom. So far, I haven't had an email. I think perhaps I'm not on the shortlist. But it doesn't matter because I love my garden and other people love my garden. I might still get an email before the end of the day, but I don't, you know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not quite sure when the White in Bloom, no, that's the White in Bloom today. They were doing a shortlist. I don't know why they're doing a shortlist. There were 8 people in the category I went in, and they're doing a shortlist and then a finals next week. So that was a bit strange, but anyway, that's how they do it. So not to worry. I'm still see if I get anything in Ride in Bloom, but even so, if I don't, I've enjoyed my garden. You've enjoyed my garden. The residents along here enjoyed my garden. Unfortunately, the policeman didn't stop and say what a beautiful garden I had, because he was more interested in me filling out this survey. But there you go. It is what it is. Anyway, I'm not going to let it spoil my Friday. And tomorrow, all being well, God willing, I will be live streaming a carnival after all that time of, no carnivals through the pandemic. This year, the first of the season is the Mardi Gras. And the Mardi Gras is run by the New Carnival Company, an amazing carnival. And I'll try and put some information. I'll try and read up on the information before the carnival, so I can actually. I'd like to do a running commentary. If those of you have never seen my live streams of carnivals, I like to give a running commentary, so I'll try and read up the information. But Chris and Frankie run the New Carnival Company. I think the shade makers are involved. Shade makers, of course, are the local business, the local art and craft business who were in the Queen's pageant in the Mall. What an accolade for the island! They were in the Queen's pageant in the Mall for the Platinum Jubilee for the Queen, and they were supported by the Ventnor Comedy Jazz Band, and that's absolutely amazing. So I think the shade makers are involved in the Mardi Gras, and so that will be a wonderful spectacle tomorrow. If it's this hot, I'm really going to have to find some shady space to live stream from, because I might melt. Maybe I have to take the umbrella with me and and the table. I wonder if I can manage that. I might be able to do it. I might be able to get it on Navy Laura. Then I can sit and and be under the umbrella. I do have a little umbrella that goes on my Iographer. My Iographer is the mount that I usually put my phone in. I haven't got it in there today. I'm just holding it, but the mount is the Iographer, and there's a little. I've not used it before, but there's a little umbrella that I've got that goes over the camera, because at the last Mardi Gras, which was before the pandemic, my camera closed down in the middle of the parade because it got too hot. So I didn't, somebody else had to take over and use their camera to live stream because my camera closed down. I think Sarah did that for me. So we did catch the rest of it, but it wasn't all in one go. So anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you now. Oops, let's see if there are any more comments. I don't know. No, I don't think. Oh, yes, there are some more comments. Hang on. Let's see if I can see what they are. I'm having to enlarge the screen so I can see them. Caroline watches Netflix. Jackie's saying, take a damp flannel in a plastic bag, then you could cool down. Do you know what, Jackie? That's a brilliant idea. My mum used to. Hang on, that's what you put. My mum used to do that when we were little and used to go out to events. She did that. She'd put a flannel in a plastic bag and take it. So that's a brilliant idea, Jackie. I think I'm going to be down in town for a lot of the day. There's an art and crafts market like the one I did on the Platinum weekend. But I'm not going to do it. I was actually incubating shingles that weekend, and I didn't feel at all well that day. And that's obviously why, because I was incubating shingles. I've decided that the Mardi Gras starts at 3. The art and craft day was from about 10:30 through to just before the Mardi Gras, about that same time. But it's too much for me to do that because I would have the tables and my tables and my chairs and my umbrella and all the stock. And then I'd have to go and try and record the Mardi Gras, which is a bit further over. So actually, it actually comes very near to where the art and craft market is, but I decided it was just too much. I'm going to go further down and try and record at the beginning of the Mardi Gras before people get too tired, because it's changed its route this year. So anybody who's on the island, it's starting at the Simeon Wrecking Ride. It's not going all the way up and coming down the High Street and Union Street. It's going along from coming out of the Simeon Wreck. It's going along the Strand. It's going. That's all. Oh no! What's the song about the Strand? I've forgotten. I was going to burst into song and then I forgot the song. And so let's just this. Whoops. Let's just. Oh, I can't. I've put my screen too big and I can't reduce the size of the screen now. And so. So it goes along the Strand and then it turns left up Dover Street. And I pity anybody because, of course, Dover Street is up. It's one of our very steep roads. So it goes up Dover Street up to where Michael runs his hotel house. And we've got Dorset House on the left, and it will turn along Melville Street and then go along Cross Street and then come down Union Street, along the Esplanade and back along the Strand back along to the Simeon Wreck. So I'm hoping I can find a shady spot down near the beginning of the parade. So that's what I should be doing tomorrow. So thank you everybody who's joined me this afternoon. Keep one beside the bed at night time. Oh yeah, good idea. What a brilliant idea, Jackie. So I should take that on board. I'll probably do myself a picnic. Take myself a picnic down and go down sort of during the day so that I can go into the art and craft market and live stream in there. I need to top my both my battery packs up so we've got lots and lots of power for the camera. Look out, must go in and find that little umbrella that goes on my camera and see, and then work out whether I could actually take this umbrella. I think I might be able to take the umbrella with me, and possibly the table. I don't know. The table might be a bit tricky, but if I don't take the table, I've got nothing to put the umbrella in. There's a hole in the middle of the table to put the umbrella in, so I don't know if you can see. Look. So anyway, so folks, go and enjoy the rest of your Friday. All being well, I will be live streaming at 10 o'clock tonight. It's Friday, and I feel like I probably will live stream. Depends if I've worn myself out before 10 o'clock. But if I haven't, I will live stream again this evening. So go and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Oh, Crystal's just coming. What's Crystal saying? Thanks for letting me in to see you today. That's quite all right. Quite all right, Crystal. Lovely to see you, even if it's here. Crystal lives literally at the bottom of my road, just down here. I'm waving to you, Crystal. Anyway, I just slightly turned there and I had a big twinge in my side where I've got the pain from my shingles. So I'm going to go and sort of have a little wriggle and unwind myself from turning that way and get some ice cream and a nice cool drink. And also the low battery signs come up now, so I think I really do need to go. Oh, so bye everybody. Thanks for joining me and see you tonight, all being well. 10 o'clock UK time. Bye.